in. Come on in. Like, share, and subscribe. Good morning. Good morning. I have some things I want to talk about. Come on in. Let's see. So I can no longer say road to 3,000 subscribers. Road to 3,000 subscribers. Yesterday we accomplished that goal over here. So we're going to say road to 4,000 subscribers. I don't know. We are growing over here, and that's what it's about. So I am so grateful to each and every one of you who watch any of my live streams. I'm a small content creator, just putting in the work, doing the best that I can with growing this here channel of mine. Thank you all so much for showing up and rocking out with me and just learning and growing with me. That's what it's about. When I go live, it's centered around learning. I learn a lot of information. Hey, what's up, Tim? How are you? Good morning. Where are you located? Where are you located? It's 10:20 a.m. here in Georgia. I am in Georgia, East Coast. It's not too early, but it's earlier in other parts of the country. We got some things to talk about. I have a lot of information I want to share. Yesterday, I believe if you were in the chat yesterday, I had a lot of information to share. Lots and lots of notes. So today, I got some things I want to talk about. So I'm going to do the best I can. I'm walking, I'm mobile, but I do have my notes. And we're going to talk about the deal between President Trump, or the deal he made with President Zelensky. Glorious morning it is. President Trump. Are you aware, Tim? Have you read any about the deal that President Trump has made? Hey, Diary, good morning. Are you all aware of the deal that President Trump made with Ukraine centered around minerals? I just deep dived into it this morning before the live. So I have some notes on that. You all, I really think it's rooted in, Ukraine wanting a seat at the table. Like, listen, they want to be viewed as one of the big dogs. And Trump's like, listen, I got the keys. So come on in here. We're going to talk about it. I broke down this and I did a deep dive into this deal that President Trump made with Zelensky, the president of Ukraine. And some believe it's most beneficial to Ukraine, but I don't know. I'm going to share the information. Y'all let me know. Tim, you're in Maryland. Okay. I was in Maryland during my trip to D.C. a couple weeks back. Earlier last month, April, spring break with my family. Hopefully you were able to catch the content that I put out during the week of April 7th. I was boots on ground in D.C., but I actually stayed. My family and I stayed at an Airbnb in Maryland. So it was our first time been in the state of Maryland. My first time visiting D.C. It was a wonderful, wonderful trip. Tim said I am, but I haven't done any research. All right, then. It's all right. Y'all know I be doing the research, and I just say, hey, you all go out and do your own research. So today I took a deep dive into the situation with the U.S. and Ukraine as far as this deal. that they came to an agreement on? Yeah. Uh-oh. So I'm going to share with you just some information. Share with you all some information I came to learn in regards to this deal. But before we do that, can you all double tap the screen, like the video? I would appreciate it. It helps with the algorithm. Road to 4,000 subscribers. We just reached our goal last night of 3,000 subscribers. So thank you all who have subscribed to my channel, who watch my content, who support in any type of way. I am very, very grateful. I am very grateful. I can't grow the channel without you all, so that's what it's about. So let's get it. Let's get it. I hope you all are having a wonderful morning, this beautiful Saturday. So let's get into these notes now. You all are early to the party. What they say, the early bird catches the worm. And guess just for that, we're going to get started. I'm going to give you all these updates. So y'all listen up, Buttercup. President Trump and the president of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky, signed a long-awaited minerals deal on Wednesday. So this deal took place on Wednesday. What's up, Riza? Congrats. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you, Farming. Subscribe. I appreciate it. We've reached our first, I'm not going to say first goal, you all. Like just February, I was hollering, road to 1,000 subscribers. Y'all, that was February. We are just entered May. So God is good, 3,000 and counting subscribers on this channel. So thank you so much. What's in the deal? So let's talk about what's in this deal between the U.S. and Ukraine. What's in the deal? So when it comes to aid, future American military, we're saying, hey, we will provide future American military assistance to Ukraine, and it will count as the U.S. investment into a joint restructuring investment fund that will be used to pour money into Ukraine's natural resources. So check this out. Initially, you all remember the epic meeting with President Zelensky at the White House, meeting with Trump. A lot of people, a lot of Democrats, a lot of people thought, oh, Trump is just disrespectful. He just didn't treat the man right, all of that. So flashback to that day. On that day, Trump was demanding $500 billion share of Ukraine's rare earths and other minerals in exchange for aid it had already provided. So Trump like, yo, we already been funding y'all little situation over there. So we just gonna start there with the negotiations. We finna start with what we been doing, what we've already done. We ain't even finna talk about what we can do for you. We gonna talk about what we've already done for you. And what we've already done for you, we demand 500 billion shares of your rare earths and other minerals in exchange for the aid that we've already provided to you. Zelensky rejected the idea and called Trump a dictator. So basically he cussed him out and said, you smoking something, because we will not do no such thing. No, we will not. So fast forward to today, we are helping them. We're going to provide them aid, and we're not getting 500 billion shares of their rare earths and minerals. So as I share this information, you all tally up where it's a win for the Ukrainians or where there's a win for America, the American people. So let's move on to the category of natural resources. What's up, Iwanka? You said, what are you talking about? I am talking about the deal that President Trump just signed with Ukraine, President Zelensky, on the minerals deal that they signed this week. So this week on Wednesday, the gentlemen came to a deal. They've been kind of working on it for a little minute now. Y'all remember I said the epic meeting that was had at the White House when President Zelensky came to the U.S. in his non-suit. What they said, VP Vance was like, he didn't even have a suit on. He didn't even say thank you, all this stuff. So fast forward, we've gotten past that. We've gotten past that. Now we are at a time to where the gentlemen are like, hey, we both can come to the table like we got some sense, and we can make it do what it do. We can make it do what it do. We're going to show the people how it's done. So I am telling you all what that means. What's in this deal that these two men agreed to. So when it comes to natural resources, you all double tap the screen, like the video for me, please. It doesn't cost you a thing. Join me on my walk and talk as I discuss the latest in political news in the U.S. Natural resources. The deal gives the U.S. preferential rights to mineral extractions in Ukraine and states that Ukraine will have the final say in what and where is being mined. Ukraine will also retain ownership of the subsoil. So basically, the U.S. is wanting access to like the resources, the resources over there in Ukraine. They want access to the resources. Ukraine's like, all right, then we'll give you some access to our resources, but we will retain ownership of suboil, and we basically have final say when it comes to when and where you're going to mine. So we're saying, yes, okay, y'all can come over here. All right, then come over here, deep dive, dig, whatever the heck you're trying to do. But we're going to dictate, we have the final say on when you do it and where you do it. Y'all understand that? That's what they're saying. So this is all a part of this agreement that was just made between the U.S. and Ukraine. The U.S. will also gain access to the Ukraine's resources such as oil, natural gas, gold, and copper. So the U.S. is willing to give, all right then, y'all need some little help, y'all need aid or whatever, Ukraine, all right then, we'll give y'all some bandages, support, whatever. We're going to basically do what we've been doing anyway. But what we want in exchange is access to your oils, your natural gas, your copper, and your gold. Y'all, that's money. That is money. That is money. That's what they want. U.S. want access to listen, they understand that if they get access to the oil, the natural gas, the gold, and the copper, they just know it's unlimited things that they can do with that type of access, with those type of resources. Like, that's a game changer for them. And I'm going to get into some more of that later as I talk about the benefits or what's the details in this deal. So like I said, as I explain to you all what's in this deal, keep in mind who's winning. Do you feel like both Ukraine and the U.S. both are winning? Do you feel like, oh no, this is a win all day long for Ukraine? Or you're like, nah, U.S. cleaned up on this. So the tone of the agreement is there's a strong language in the deal on the war with Russia itself. It paints Moscow as the aggressor in the conflict, which contradicts some of Trump's previous statements about Ukraine and Zelensky being responsible for Ukraine and Zelensky being responsible for the war before. So it wasn't that long ago President Trump was like, Zelensky, y'all doing too much. Y'all the reason why y'all in war. If y'all wouldn't have been doing the most, y'all wouldn't be there. If President Biden wasn't giving y'all the bag, giving y'all all the money, constantly sending y'all Zelle cash and cash apps and all of that, doing money transfer and all that ish, y'all would have been out the game, out of that war in like 2 weeks. Like, this is what Trump told him, man. He told him that if it weren't for the U.S. and Trump giving them all the money, they wouldn't have lasted more than like 2 weeks in that war. And how long this war been going on? Because President Trump been sliding them cash apps and Zelles to fund this war experience. Yes, that's what's been going on. So now in this agreement, it's documented that Russia is the aggressor and they are the reason that those two countries are at war. My. My how things change. You all, good morning. Come on in. Double tap the screen. Double tap the screen, like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. So the EU guarantees. So let's get into what really Ukraine really wants. Because I started this live for those of you who are just joining us live. Welcome. Good morning. Double tap the screen. Double tap the screen. Listen, I'm bringing the information to you. I promise you I'm going to bring it to you in a way that you've never heard it before, because this is just how I do over here. Ukraine really just wants some respect on their name. They want a seat at the table. They like, listen, y'all know them people who like, so think about like the people who didn't come from money. They got money now. They're now in rooms with people with money. And people with money know that they new to the money, so they still want to side eye them and don't really want to invite them over to their table to sit with them. But the people who are new to the money, like, yo, can you accept me? Can you please accept me? Like, I got just as much money as you. Hell, I probably got more than you. But just because I'm new to this, not true to this, like, don't mean that you got to kind of treat me some type of way and disrespect me. So just put some respect on my name. I'm basically in the same room with you. So this is what I feel like what's going on with Ukraine. The EU guarantees. So Ukraine has an opportunity to potential in the future have membership in the European Union, saying investments need to be made in accordance with Ukraine's obligations as an EU candidate state. It also adds that if Ukraine was to join the bloc in the future, this deal would be negotiated in good faith. I told y'all, Ukraine, they just want a seat at the table. They want to be a part of the bloc. Listen, they trying to be on the block. They just trying to be on the block. They trying to be on the block. They trying to be on the block. So they like, Trump, help me. Listen, I'm going to give you access to some of our research. You know you want that gold. You know you want that copper. You know you want it. But this is what we need in exchange. We need for you to vouch for us. We tired of going in these rooms, being disrespected, people looking down on us, spitting on. We tired of it. Listen, we got money, we got resources too. We might not be walking around wearing suits and ties. We blowing up stuff, but listen, like we want you, we just want respect. Can you do the introduction? You know how sometimes some people like, yo, just put me on, just give me the introduction. I take it from there. Just invite me. Just let me have a seat at the table. I promise you, I'm just gonna rock out. I'm gonna just sell them. They just gonna love me, but I just need an invite. I just need an invite. So this is how I'm interpreting when it comes to Ukraine, why they agreed to this deal with the U.S. Because they want some respect put on their name. And they want the U.S., President Trump, to vouch for them. Because it's almost like if you got the U.S. stamp of approval, you are in there. Like, you're in there. You solid. You solid. And this is what they wanted. And based off of this deal, this is kind of what they got. This is what they got. So now they have a seat at the table without having to give the U.S. $500 billion of their shares. This is where we are with that. So what are the benefits of this deal for the U.S.? Because I done told y'all how Ukraine benefit. They want a seat at the table. They like, listen, just vouch for us. We got the rest. Just vouch for